Smack. Welcome to Super Smack.
Super Smack.
The Super Rugby podcast from the fans, for the fans. We are back, baby.
We're back, round one of the Super Rugby. What a round. It did not disappoint.
Woo.
It was epic.
With some crackers.
Yeah, it really was fiery, I would say.
Yeah.
Like some of the most fiery rugby I've seen for a long time.
Yeah.
I
Like as
mean,
fiery as Christy? That kind of fiery?
Actually, Christy got involved in a little. Do you see DMac kind of have a little go at him on that on the try
line?
line?
Biff. Well, he did one of those like flopping
He
tackles
kind of
where
did
he
that
smashed
unnecessary. It kind of wasn't his fault.
Mate, he hit him in the head.
Mate, he's coming in 100 miles an hour and he can't stop himself.
He could have stopped himself.
He can't. He's like a big ginger
cheeky.
train.
Nah, mate. He's too slow.
Yeah, he was. Well, hardly got a look in, really.
Anyway.
What is he, fifth string now?
Ooh, yeah, maybe.
Probably is.
Well, now that Noah's got the hops and he's got a sore ankle, maybe fourth.
He's got the hops.
Hops.
Oh,
Sean
for
Hoppy.
who? Oh, he has got the hops. Hey, so first week of the podcast was great. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and listened and sent us in your thoughts and feedback. We love hearing from you, so please keep getting in touch on Insta or TikTok or send us an email. And, you know, we had listeners.
Had some critical thinkers that come out and sort of gave us some advice, which was nice.
Which was lovely.
Yes.
Yeah. And some sort of disgruntled people from the south.
From the South Island, yeah, understandably. And I get your gripes.
Look, but they're always going to be there, and you're going to have to live with them, not us.
But we also had some people saying some nice stuff, which was great.
We did, and we had a gamut of listeners from all across the world. So shout out to our listeners in Aussie, the UK, the US, Spain, and Austria.
Who's listening
Which
in the
you'd
US?
love.
You know who's listening in the US?
Who is it?
Grace.
Oh, what your wife? Your wife's listening. It's just shout out to Grace.
Thank you, Grace.
Shout out to Ra's wife, who's and probably just the three other people she was with at the time.
Good. Well, I'm an international audience. We can take it.
No, how they play rugby in the US too. And it's actually becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mutton On is there. He plays in San Diego.
Is he still there?
Wales vagina. Yes, I think so. I think he's still there. All right. So, I mean, what do you want to crack into first?
Well,
I
just think we talk about the highlights of the weekend. There was some of the games.
Well, we've got to start with the first game,
Yeah,
don't we?
they were all suitably epic, but the first one was a cracker.
How do you feel?
Look, we played well, I thought. I thought the Hurricanes... the Hurricanes played really bloody well.
Well, you scored the first two tries of the competition.
we were looking hot. And then I said to you, I sent you the text, I said, they're coming back, mate. And they did what the Crusaders typically do. Actually, what I take away from that match is that both teams did what both teams are known for. The Hurricanes have a blinder of a start, and then they fall asleep in the second half and just forget about it. And the Crusaders finished it in style, with absolute utter professionalism, and that's kind of what they're known for. So all of us were sitting there going, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, we touched on this last week. I was hoping to have a little bit more reprieve, but they're back, aren't they?
They are. I mean, it looks like they're back, and you
had one job, Gareth, to keep them at bay, and you screwed it up.
Yeah,
mate.
well, now that's going to be your job.
On
next Friday.
Week. Yeah.
So
we'll give it a crack.
You can do that, but I mean, look, Will Jordan obviously is recovered from that surface error of his, and he was outstanding. Like, he was everywhere, making plays, assists. He was just running perfect lines. Sever Reese was also really good.
Amazing, yeah. Also got a mention on the pod last week.
Yeah, Sever really did step up. So
there's
Nutter. There's Nutter was All Blacks opportunity gone.
Kick into the midfield. Amazing.
Yeah, and then the hero of the whole game, Kyle Preston. And that's another gutting thing for the Hurricanes because he turned down a Hurricanes contract.
Not John Preston's son?
No, not John Preston's son.
Well, because you texted me saying he was John Preston's son.
I thought he was. It turns out.
Whose son is he?
Well, I guess Phil Preston. Or maybe at a punch, Graham.
I think he's a 10th generation roofer.
Or roofer?
Yeah, he's a roofer.
So keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not roofing.
No,
I mean,
I know.
like putting roofs on houses.
Yeah,
and
he's not a
buildings
roofier.
and keeping the weather out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is good. Everybody needs it, especially in Wellington.
Yeah.
He's a good Tawa College boy.
Yeah.
And he played amazingly for the Lions in our championship win in
This
2024.
is a bit of a common theme. Seems to be a lot of people leaving Wellington at the moment. What's happened, mate?
Yeah, it's actually going to be. Look, it's going to be a tough road, I think, for the Canes in that respect. Do you know what? I'm proud that they did so bloody well against the Crusaders in that respect. There was a stat that came out during that game. The Crusaders had 266 All Blacks caps between them. The Hurricanes had 21. That is the Hurricanes did bloody well considering. They've got some great firepower.
Well, all that really tells me is you've got a shittier side.
Well, maybe we do, but how come we do so well in spite of it?
Well, you haven't
just
yet, mate.
amazing.
You just lost.
Oh, yeah, but that's fine. We're still amazing.
I think you're bottom of the table, aren't you?
No, we're second from bottom.
Not even a bonus point.
Doesn't matter. We don't need it. We'll come back and win a bonus point next week against the Drua.
Well, a couple of other highlights from that game. We had obviously James O'Connor coming into the side.
Yes, and he did. He did do well. He did very well.
No, mate. I've got a theory.
What?
He's a spy.
Yeah,
Australia have brought him in
That's
to win
it.
back to Bledisloe.
because
He's a spy, mate. I have no doubt.
you got to say I've never seen him play that well in his entire rugby
No.
career.
Yeah, he was
So
insane.
what's he up to? So has he been lulling us lulling
think
us
so.
into a false sense of
Yeah,
security
yeah.
all these years?
He's caught the Crusaders in a moment of weakness, and he's just popped on down there. Joe Schmidt's he's laid that plan out, and the Australian Rugby Board have just put him in there to spy, to gather some information.
Yeah.
Try and get some trophies back. In
Yeah, I mean, and to the fact that he can come off the bench. I mean, Kamara played well as too, and that was I mean, they have some firepower. The Crusaders, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, they're back. They're back.
They're back. They're well and I don't really want to say it, but they are back. I mean, they could lose this week
Oh, they
quite
will.
easily, but it's going to be the game of the competition, isn't it?
Well, game of the week. Yeah.
Game of the week.
I've got one more bone to pick with you,
Okay, pick it.
and this is something that's been really playing on my mind for a long, long time. Why do the commentators call them the Hurricanes? Like, what's going on there?
Well, Nisbo calls them the Hurricanes.
Why the Hurricanes?
I think he just can't say hurricane. I think in his sort of old, ye oldie kind of way of talking, he sort of would go, the Hurricanes. And he gets a bit lazy, as some people do. And then it just became his vernacular.
Getting a bit Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. You don't hear
Hurricanes.
someone say, God, I'm so sorry you lost your family in that horrific hurricane. I don't think anyone's ever said that, do they? That was a Category 5 hurricane.
Hurricane.
It's hurricane.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? It's like him going, the tornadoes or something. Like
The Chiefs and this.
like what
Crusaders.
other weather patterns does he pronounce wrong? Typhoon. That huge typhoon off the coast of Japan.
Tiger wave.
Tiddlewav.
The Tiddlewave.
Tiddlewave.
The Tiddlewave.
The Tiddlewave. I mean, that, that's so stupid. But no, he does pronounce it wrong.
I mean, he's the godfather of rugby commentary in this country. So I mean, I'm loath to say anything bad.
I just think you let him pronounce it. He also used to pronounce players' names so badly. Like,
yeah, he's got
fucking
better at
terribly.
that. Well, he's just left it to everyone else.
Yeah, and the others do a really good job, but he's pretty bad at at te reo and all of those things. It's not as he's just going, I'm too old and too tired.
But no one's pulling him up on it.
They don't need to. I
How do
guess.
you feel about being called the Hurricanes?
Oh, well, I don't really care, but it's nice when someone says Hurricanes because it's the Canes. We don't go the Kins did well.
Hurricanes.
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 Yeah, you were getting cheeky at the Eden Park on Saturday, trying to do the Hurricanes chant, weren't you?
Yeah.
Just rile me up.
Well, I was
Get under my skin.
also trying to rile up those Blues fans as well.
You did rile them up.
We did.
Well, one of you was telling them to leave at the end.
What?
Yeah, you were saying go home and all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, well.
Terrible behaviour.
Bit lippy.
Speaking of, what a match that was.
What's that?
Oh, just the Chiefs Blues, mate. You know,
The replay of last year's final.
the replay of last year's final where you finally got sweet, sweet revenge.
Yeah, it was bloody lovely.
It was bloody lovely. I mean, it was a tight as a nuns in that first half. And
Yeah, yeah.
the Blues kind of maybe look, because of their defensively, they are usually so good. They looked like they were going to, play that card against you for the rest of the
They
game.
just
But
didn't
then,
have enough firepower, though. I mean, they scored that late try in the first half, which was a bit concerning. I was a little bit fucked off about that. But then the second half, we knew we had the bench. And like that's the new age of rugby with the fast pace of it, that's the fatigue that sets in. That bench needs to be bloody
And so
strong.
some genius coaching there.
Yeah,
from,
I think
from
Clayton's
Clayton.
really played his ace.
I
there.
mean, you guys also you had the aces to play, which is amazing. You looked. What did you have? 6 All Blacks out of 7.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter. They're all just Chiefs,
or
mate.
6 out of 8.
They're all just Chiefs. They're not All Blacks. As soon as they come to the mighty Waikato, they're just Chiefs.
They're
mate.
just Super Rugby level players, eh?
Yeah.
With the possibility of popping
Just
on
the
a
best,
black jersey.
just the best
Yeah.
Super Rugby
But
players.
they did make a huge difference, and they were brought on at the right time. And you're right, the fatigue did play a massive part in it.
But the games were quick.
They were frenetic.
And you know what? They must have had a really good meeting in the refs organisation over the off season because mate, they were not suffering any falls.
No.
No, Hotham he was basically had a broken foot, and Nic Berry was just like, get on with it.
Yeah.
We're not stopping for him. He's only a halfback. No one needs a bloody halfback.
Nic Berry was on one, eh?
Mate.
He was something else.
He's had a glow up.
He's
He is.
Nic Berry's had a
Mate,
glow up.
he's got a beautiful fade. He's like looking toned. He's been
jacked.
in the gym.
You can tell he's obviously got a size
yeah,
shirt down
and you could
too
see him.
to bring
You
it
could
out.
see him doing these ones in the big screen. He's kind of checking himself out, making sure he's doing all his angles.
Yeah,
Mate, he needs to stop going to king fades and get back into.
I
just
think
guts.
he's going to distract the players. They need to be keeping their eye on the ball, and you've got some pretty ref. The ref should always be less cool than the players. The ref can't be walking on and everyone's going, shit, Nic Berry looks all right. Well, fuck, he's all right. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he just had a cock of the walk thing about him, including cutting the bloody first half off 2 minutes early.
Yeah, exactly.
So
He took it too literally.
Suddenly he's become so cool that he goes, I think that's enough.
Nah, need to go for a wee.
I gotta go have a beer. Or I gotta
He's not drinking beers, mate.
I gotta go have a protein shake.
Yeah, get a protein shake.
I go get my Mega Mass from the changing room.
My collagen powder.
Yeah, that'll be it. He did have a lovely shine.
Lovely
glow.
sheen. Yeah, I think he's gone in for a chemical peel or something like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah,
Yeah.
good complexion, nice even skin tones.
Good on
He's
you, Nick.
looking good. Good on you, Nick.
Yeah, ruthless Nic Berry.
Yeah. Yep.
But what a game. Back to the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, DMac.
Mate, you must be very proud.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah, you must be proud of your boy.
I was a little
eh?
bit confident. You
You were more than confident.
Yeah.
You were
I was
cocky.
vocal
You
before
were arrogant,
the
maybe.
game,
Yes.
which was, not unusual for me. But yeah, we came away with it, and I'm bloody stoked about it.
Yeah, and look, DMac played bloody well.
Well, he ran rings around Bowden Barrett
he
and
did.
Plummer.
Yeah, it was. I think. Yeah,
That second try, Plummer just watched him slide in front of him.
Where was Plummer that whole game, man?
Yeah, I don't know.
And also Bodie, he sort of started marshalling them around well, but really some of his decisions, I mean, they just didn't stand out. Neither of those players stepped up when they needed to step up. And DMac, on the other hand, just went, all right, I'm going to take this game by the scruff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, Plummer really shone when Bodie wasn't there. So is it a problem of Bodie coming back and he doesn't really know where he is?
Well, it's funny that Bowden was taking
It's
the
like
goal kicks.
when your older brother comes and plays touch with all your friends. And you just you have to, because
They went,
he's your older brother, you'll get a hiding when you get home.
Better give him the ball.
Yeah, better give him
but
the ball.
they
and
also
not do
then
anything.
went, well, we better give him the kicks too, because I mean, Plummer is an extraordinary goal kicker, and he wasn't goal kicking. So was there something up with him? What was going on there?
I think Bodie just rules the roost.
He just rules it.
He rules it, yeah.
Do you reckon he tries to rule it, or do you reckon they just do it for
I
him?
think
Like
he
they
just
roll out the
waltzes
carpet.
in. He waltzes in and he's just like, oh, hey guys, give me the tea. Plums, go and get me a coffee.
And he's a yes, Bowden.
Yes, Bodie.
What flat white?
Do you think Bowden was
No,
a
you
little
know I
bit
haven't
nervous after all the chat last week about you going on a date with
I
him?
mean, look, if I was
You might
him,
have put him
my
off his
mind,
game. You
if
might
I
have
was
done me
him,
a
my
favour.
mind would have been elsewhere. He's probably. I mean,
So hang up that bottle of
bottle of Verve with a guy like me. I mean, that's going to distract him, man.
bit of an ego boost when you're worth $600.
Offer's still on, Bodie, if you want it. The other thing that I thought was impressive was, from the coaching perspective, was when DMac shifted to 10 for the last part of the game. It was kind of seamless and sort of boosted. It just boosted the
it made
whole
everything
thing.
quicker.
It was a great tactical decision.
He's got more pace
Yeah.
than most other players on the field. Like, I don't think, like, he kind of outgassed Rico at one stage. I was like, well, he's supposed to be the fastest person on the paddock.
Yeah, it's interesting tactics that the ABs could even, I guess, employ there.
Oh, they tried, mate.
Yeah, but they didn't have him at 15 to start, did they?
Yeah, true.
That would be interesting, but
you got Will Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, we're spoiled for choice at 15.
We're spoiled for choice around the park, which is what you realise from watching the weekend's games as well. You go, holy shit.
We had another couple of close games. Really close games.
Very close, and some, heartbreaking losses.
Yeah,
for
the
certain
Moana
teams.
one. Oh, God.
Yeah.
They played so well.
But the nature...
attack was good. They were really, like, they were on fire.
Like I say, their defence maybe was lacking a little bit. They were a little bit loosey-goosey, and they let as many tries in as they scored.
Mate,
and
they got tired. Everyone got tired at the end of the games.
But the nature of that try, 70 metres from Ben Donaldson, and he's a fantastic player, but they string all these phases together trying to get out of their half, and then suddenly the gap's there, and boom, he's away down the sideline.
Because they're knackered, mate.
Yeah.
They need to take a leaf out of Nic Berry's book and make sure they have a little protein and a little collagen powder at half time. It'll get them through.
They should just pop some collagen powder on the oranges. Just all have a little suck of the wedge.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, boys.
Maybe just have the oranges in the pocket.
And
do they reckon they've got pockets?
On the shorts? Actually, that's a bloody good question. What would they put in there? What, mouth guards? Gum? Taniela Tupou was chewing gum the whole game.
What?
He's chews gum the whole game. He's
How?
just sitting there going...
How does he not choke?
I don't know. Maybe because he's so massive that no one can get the gum out of him, even if they try.
How do you chew gum with a mouth guard?
Well, I suppose he's not got a mouth guard in.
I thought that you had to. Didn't Artie Saver get in trouble a couple of years ago? He got fined, didn't he?
Either way, he's standing there just before the scrum, chewing his gum. But the other heartbreaking loss, the Highlanders. Because that was a good game, and we knew that the Tars were going to go, but we had a good feeling, and we still do have a good feeling about the Waratahs this year.
They do look good.
They were at home, and they're playing the weakest New Zealand side.
As much as we talk shit about the Highlanders, like for a lackluster looking team on paper, they did really bloody well.
They always have an immense spirit, and they've got some incredible players like Tawhatava Nawai, and Tangito is like this revelation. He is going to be great for them this season, and yes, Tawhatava Nawai, obviously some of the more experienced, more skillful players. The one thing that cracked me up is Hugh Renton, the captain.
Oh, he got sent off.
But he just looks like someone's uncle has popped on a Highlanders top.
And also the rest of the team, they've just gone down to Castle Street and like at a party, just gone, "Hey, do you want $50?
We need you.
We need you.
Can you play 20 minutes?
You come and hold the bags."
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden they've got to start against the Waratahs. Yeah, a slab of Spades. A slab of Viking.
But they honestly, it was back and forth. There were 8 lead changes, high scoring, and then that try at the end was just it was a phenomenal watch. A little bit scrappy, but that kind of made it fun again. It was the fatigue factor. They just were all a little bit out on their feet.
And the poster boy of Australian rugby was there.
Who's that?
Joseph Su'ali'i.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
mate. They are really blowing some smoke.
They're in love with him, and I reckon let them blow all the smoke they want.
Okay,
I reckon.
So I've got a little.
Pull his cheeks apart and puff it in.
Oh Jesus! I puff it in
with one of those like fire things,
like Wolf of Wall Street style.
Yeah.
No, I think I don't know. I haven't drunk the Kool-Aid with Joseph Su'ali'i yet.
Are they handing some out,
mate? Like hard. Everyone is like going crazy about him. They put up a few high balls for him, right?
Yeah.
He got the first one.
He got a couple of them.
Mate. He didn't get any more.
Mate.
He's got a better running game than he does a high ball game. He can get up there, but he doesn't. I
reckon he's going to be great under the high ball for that's why they've got him in there. He's very Folau-esque, and he's going to. I think let them have their hype because that win, they believe now. They believe. I mean, they beat the Highlanders, so maybe that's not quite
let's not
the
get
same
carried
thing.
away.
But they believe that they can. It's so much easier to get that momentum on once you've got a win under your belt.
I was watching the Stan Sport coverage, and they had like a little cutaway, but just before an ad break, and it was when they go in the changing sheds before the game.
Yeah.
They just followed him round with his shirt
his
off
shirt
for
off.
like 2.5 minutes.
It's quite pervy, eh?
It was quite pervy.
Do you think
I mean,
it's
he
a
looks
man
great.
or a woman?
What, the camera
Yeah,
person?
like who's in charge of making that
I
decision?
think that's beside the point, mate. It was soft porn. It was like watching Sky One at midnight.
And we all know that you watched a lot of that in your childhood.
Nah, mate, not me. I wasn't allowed up till midnight.
Come off it.
Mate, don't tell mum and dad.
Quickly sneak the door closed.
Push record it on the VHS.
over Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Watch it
An
at midday
an old
in the
family
school
favourite.
holidays when mum and dad are at work.
It was after Carnal Knowledge, wasn't it? At 11:30 or
What?
Red Shoe Diaries.
Mate,
mate.
what if you know all that's detailed information?
I was up. Man, I was 13.
Yeah, we all were at some stage.
Exactly. We all were. If we're still alive
Unless
today,
you're 12.
we were all 13.
Yeah.
Rawadi Job. Quote
Quote
of the day.
of the pod.
Yeah, look, he's, I don't know, again, they're making a fuss around him. And the Aussies they just love to dine out on it.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. Let them dine.
Let them dine.
Let them eat cake.
Let them blow
speaking
smoke.
of soft porn, the streakers,
No,
the
yeah,
streakers at the Blues Chiefs game.
Well,
there wasn't just
the
one.
first two, mate. The first two were atrocious. I mean, in what day, in what age, the streakers still have their jeans on?
Well, they were obviously a little bit shy.
They still had their shoes and jeans on.
They might have had.
That's not a streak.
They might have not had much going on down below. You know.
Yeah, I think if you're going to streak, I mean, it's a high price to pay. You get banned for life. You get fined, I'd imagine. I don't know.
Do you want to be well endowed? Do you? Like, I'm just
I
trying
don't
to think.
think it matters.
As
I just think you've got to be nude.
Do you think there's sort of a few mates will sit around and go, "Well, Gary, you should go because we know what you're working with."
What?
Like, is that how they decide who runs on?
A little grey, pinky bratwurst.
I'm not talking about me, mate.
Oh, right.
Chill
Yeah,
out.
you.
That's not me. I would never streak.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't?
No. Despite what's going on down there, I
God.
would never streak. But the final guy,
Yeah, he was great.
he was actually
Oh, I
fully
didn't
nuts,
even see his
fully
willy.
starkers.
I didn't see his willy.
No,
but
he
he
was-
had it out, which is the main thing. I think you've just got to get full nude.
And
You can't be dabbling.
What
you
do you
know?
think
You've got to
on
go
the-
all out.
I agree. And what do you think on the? I always laugh at the huge effort they make to cover it up. They're
Oh, they
desperately.
got like a
they've
little
got a
white
plastic
sheet,
thing, and
yeah.
they're desperately trying to cover it. I'm like, does it really matter even for the kids? It's like he's got a willy, whatever. He's got a dick.
I love how excited the security guards get to do the hit.
Yeah,
to
there was one guy too that was obviously well on his way to being a professional rugby player because he was zeroing in and just putting the shoulder. He loved it. The others were very
sliding
average.
off a sweaty, wet, naked man.
Yeah,
Yeah, he loved it.
yeah. You can see why some people sign up for because they want tackle practice.
Yeah, shoulder into a nice bit of flesh
But
under the ribs.
Yeah, but he got him. He got him
got
well.
him good,
and
yeah.
so, kudos and hats off to the Auckland, to Eden Park security staff.
Yeah, well done.
Well done.
Yeah,
you
you-
stopped what could have been an absolute disaster.
Yeah, well, there was a few. I mean, maybe a sign of things to come. People are excited about this season.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is
4
great.
streakers is certainly a sign
Yeah.
of excitement. Yeah, whether that was about the rugby or not, but it was something there.
Well, there's a few things bringing more excitement. We've touched on the refs getting pretty excited and speeding up the game, but there's also the Fantasy League.
Yeah. So how did you do?
You go first, mate.
Well, you did better than me. I know that.
Yeah.
So we've got a little league, and it is little at the moment, but give it a join if you're listening. It's Super Smack on Fantasy, and I thought I didn't do too badly. So obviously I had Will Jordan, and so after that game,
Yeah.
I was like, despite the Hurricanes losing, I was like, this is Christmas. I've got Will Jordan. I nearly put in Severis. Didn't.
He would have been a good one.
He would have been. I had Tavanawe though, and he did well.
What about Preston? Imagine if you had the foresight to put
They
Preston
said
in
said that 0.1% of players had Preston.
Just
so
as
someone
number.
put
Just
him in,
as-
which
just
is
his dad.
amazing.
His
Just his
dad.
dad.
Not John Preston.
Phil
Preston.
Phil Preston from Tower had his own son. In their league called Preston Roofing.
Preston Roofing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you give them a follow. If you need any roof work in Tower or in the greater Hutt Valley area, please give
Please.
Preston Roofing a call.
You imagine it's Preston Roofing.
Surely. You can't. You got to dine out on that.
Yeah.
name.
It's probably not anything too flash or creative, the name. Yes.
Was that a flashing joke?
No, it actually wasn't, but I should have. I'm gutted. Come on. You didn't
Well,
even realise.
You're really riveting me, mate.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah,
No,
I'm
I
in
can't.
third place. I'm in third place, which is nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I think DMac really saved it for me.
He was your star performer.
Yeah,
because
he was my captain,
He got,
so I got double points or
208
whatever it is.
points if he was your captain.
Yeah.
I was
Smashed
pretty
it.
sure I
But
saw that
shout out
somewhere.
to Bulldog, who I'm assuming is Dane.
Is that your
Shelford.
mate, Dane?
Yeah, I think my ex-flatmate Dane, who now lives in Australia. Haven't really seen him for a wee while, but
Well, he got a good 700 and something point haul, I think.
he's one of those people that it does an annoying amount of research. I reckon he's sat there for maybe 5 or 6 hours running stats, running potentials, the matchups. He's done it all.
He must have spent a bit. I mean, I thought I spent a bit of time, but there were a couple of players I took out. You know, when you have them there and you go, oh, I'm not happy, I'll change it. And you just go with your first instinct. I reckon anyone out there
Mate.
playing fantasy, just go with your first instinct.
My picks were done in about a minute. And now that I'm in third place, I'll be spending a lot more time next week because now I'm excited.
And you're going to go down the table. You know you are. Just play with your instinct, mate.
Shut up.
No, I've always thought you're a really great rugby mind. and you've got to trust yourself
Yeah.
to
Okay,
make
thanks,
the
mate.
picks off the bat. Okay? Just like DMac, he's a very reactive player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got a little. Should we have a little segment?
What's our segment? Oh yeah. Should we
We've got our
give out
first segment?
what
of
we're
the
going to
week.
do on Super Smack each week is we're going to give out a series of awards, so to speak, to some standout moments or people,
Yeah,
individuals.
and these are throwbacks to JMC days where we used to play rugby.
Yeah.
The first one is, of course, the coveted prize for every game on Saturday mornings. Player of the day.
Big one. Here it is. You want to press that, mate?
Player of the day.
Get on you, mate.
And for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, obviously, it's DMac.
Is that he's your player of the day?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was excellent.
Yeah.
We people bag him a lot for his inconsistency. Let's be honest, at Super Rugby level,
There's
mate,
no one better.
he actually
There's no
always
one more
performs
exciting.
well.
Yeah, he's great.
And so people wonder what happens to him when he gets in the Test jersey, and I think that's just a fair point to make. He's excellent at Super Rugby level. I think Robertson playing him at 10 gave him a little more confidence that if he keeps playing well in Super Rugby, he can take that jersey back. I thought he was good.
Are you auditioning for a job on the breakdown, mate? There's
Why
a
have I
nice analysis. Really nice. I'm glad everyone heard that because Gareth,
Obviously,
he's an
but
academic.
obviously Ra doesn't respect my rugby analysis.
Mate, all I care about, DMac was great, and he gets a cheeseburger. All he has to do is, like we used to back in the day, give us a follow, DMac. Give us a message,
we love you, mate.
we'll get a McDonald's cheeseburger to you.
And your haircut was good too.
Yeah, lovely.
I
Not
saw you-
quite, not quite Nic Berry's, but
Not quite, but you're still looking good. No, well done. Well, my player of the day was Kyle Preston.
yeah.
From Preston Roofing. Mate, 3 tries on your Super Rugby debut, and, I'll forgive him for turning down the Hurricanes and going to the Crusaders because he is part of a great franchise. And
And a great family, the Preston family.
the Preston family.
Like, big shout out to those.
And
to
look,
those
he was
guys.
on the
They've really-
receiving end of all of them, and it could have really been anyone who scored them. But he was there.
He was there.
He was Johnny.
He ran great lines.
He was Johnny Preston on the spot.
Yeah.
And
no.
Not
Philly
Preston on the spot.
Philly Preston on the spot.
And he did well, and he must have got absolutely
What's his
hammered
mum's
after
name?
the game. Janine Preston.
Janine. What do you mean by hammered?
Written off. Drunk.
Oh, drunk.
Yeah.
Had a few beersies.
Could have even popped a couple of pingers. Probably not.
Jesus, mate.
Well, nah, probably not at this point in the season.
There was a bit of rust in some of the games. Some of the players.
Mm.
Maybe a bit of old party favors still in the system that haven't come out yet from the summer. So,
Yeah.
we probably should that. Yeah,
I'll tell you,
hopefully they'll be down the loop.
Jake
this
Gordon
week.
from the Waratahs in his after-match interview looked like he was kind of
I
like
know.
peaking.
Yeah.
He looked a little weird. He was sort of like rubbing his chin and just being like, oh yeah, nah, it was good, but it was
Yeah.
quite
A
strange.
few other Samararos
Yeah.
still in the system, still on the liver. But hopefully we'll get rid of some of that. So we've got another
Yeah, what's our next
another
award?
award? Well, obviously the next one is always the end of the season when we're playing JMC, the most improved player.
Most
Improved player.
These sound effects are just world class, aren't they?
If anyone wants to record us a little sting for these, please send it through. We'll get it on the pod.
Yeah, that was just our first attempt at that. I mean, look,
Awful.
it sounds
It's
It's
bad,
okay.
man. It's a shocker. It's an
I think
absolute shocker.
I think it's to the point, and it kind of sounds like what most improved feels like.
Yeah. I mean, I was the most improved. I was definitely
Oh,
never. I was definitely not. I was never good enough to get like the player, like MVP or. I mean, I got a couple of players.
Yeah, I got most improved a lot, especially in cricket.
You know what else I used to get was sportsmanship. The sportsmanship award. Just the guy that's like, got good banter. He's got a smile on his face.
It's your big smile, mate. Someone asked me the other day, they saw you online on our thing, and they went, "Does he always smile that much?"
Yeah, I can't help it.
I was like, he does a bit. Yeah, he's a very happy guy.
Very active muscles in my
Life
face.
of Riley.
Yeah.
Who's your most improved player, mate?
I went with Tani Latupo.
Most improved?
Yes, I do, because he's usually gassed by minute 20. He's like, he had a massive splash on the scene, and then all of a sudden he wasn't up to much. But he had a very solid, 60, 70 minutes on the field, and he was great. He's like a more mature player. I think he's improved a lot. Like,
you think he was?
I think so, yeah. Couple of good hits, bit of biff. He had a little couple. He took someone out off the ball, which I thought, it's a little cheeky, like a Dane Coles kind of moment.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think he was most improved for me. What do you reckon?
Well, I'm going to go and give a shout out to Sevu, because he kind of made a little bit, after being quiet for quite a while, he's made a little bit of an improvement there.
You're just guilty about last week, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I didn't really mean it. No, he
You don't want him to come for you.
No, he probably. Well, like I say, I've got a plan if he does. I think he was great. He was electric. He upped the tempo of the game. I think he was a key member of that. The other person I kind of want to shout out to. No, I don't want to shout out to him.
Is he a Highlander?
No, he's not a Highlander. No, I thought David Havili was decent.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
He was solid.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
That's a little bit of ego boost and extra little bit of pep you get in your step for being captain, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think he maybe had a good outing as captain.
How did the 7 captains from
the Hurricanes go? Well, Duplessis
he got told off.
He got told off. Do you know Nic Berry? This is the other thing he did. He goes, "You're not setting a good example for your team."
You're a leader.
I was like, all right, Nick.
Don't run in.
I was like, chill out, mate.
And Duplessis is always going to be the first person to run in when there's a scrap on.
I mean, who's going to be captain next week? Do they just pass the parcel? Like, how does it work?
Well, it was all of them again, wasn't it?
No, I think there's only ever one on the field, mate. They're not all captains at one time on the field. They take turns.
I don't understand. Why are you naming? But there were 4 of them on the field.
Yeah, but they're not all nominated as captain on that day, because otherwise Nic Berry has to go and talk to 4 of them.
Do you think they maybe just ordered
like he's conducting a barbershop
They ordered
quartet.
too many captains' armbands, so they were like, I'll just give them all.
Well, we can't throw them in the bin.
It's a waste of money.
I mean, I don't know what that's about. That's kind of ridiculous.
I mean,
I don't think it works. It doesn't. Like, you've got to have the players have got to look up to one person. Like, what does it say to that one captain when they're like, "Congratulations, Karifi, you're captain," and he's like, "Oh, okay," and then they're like, "And Brad Shields."
Yeah, and Brad Shields, and also who? Billy
Proctor,
who's injured. Like,
well,
name him a captain when he comes back.
Yeah, and they're saying it's
and someone else, isn't there? Someone else?
It's what's his face?
So you don't even remember.
No, I can't even remember.
Too many captains, you can't even remember who they are. What are you up to, Hurricanes?
What are you up to? It's too many. The guys need one person to look up to. You got to follow one guy into battle. You don't need to be. You don't want to be like, where do I look? Should I listen to Brad or should I listen to Duplessis?
Yeah.
And they're fighting again. Mum and Dad are fighting again. They can't decide on whether to. They can't decide on whether to go for goal.
Out of Brad Shields and Duplessis Karifi, who's the mum? Who's the dad?
That's actually a hard one. I'd almost say it would be Duplessis.
What would be the mum?
It's the mum, maybe. Brad Shields would more be the dad, but Duplessis kind. Well, I don't know.
Brad Shields, I reckon, has got a softer, kinder side. I reckon maybe he might be a lovely mum.
I think they're both.
I think he would be a beautiful parent.
I think they're both dads, to be honest.
Yeah. Brad Shields,
and that's okay.
Is. Yeah. And I'm sure he's a great dad.
He would be, and he spoke very eloquently after the game. He's actually quite. For his fire, he then brings himself right down and he gives a really eloquent summary of the game.
He's 58.
Who?
Brad Shields.
Oh, I thought, no, talking about Duplessis.
Oh, Duplessis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He gets really, like he's not, he's a very smart, intelligent player. I love you, Duplessis.
He's great. And he is stacked.
Oh, mate, he is. he's
that
a monster.
boy hits the gym hard.
He's a monster. Hey, should we? We also had a. Should we read out our complaint?
Oh, we've got a complaint. What?
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know about this.
Yeah, we had a complaint earlier.
Is it bad?
No. It's not bad. It's
Is
from
it about me personally?
No, it's not. It's from a disgruntled Highlanders fan.
Do we need to read it out?
Well, do you want to read it out?
Go on then.
Yeah, we should read it out because it's we just obviously want to make sure we're doing right by our Highlanders fans. So we had someone, a guy called Ryan,
Okay.
write in. He says, "Hi guys, long-time listener, first-time commenter. I found your Highlanders chat, or lack thereof, to be mildly offensive. It's great to see you taking such an interest in your own teams and your adopted Blues side.
What?
But your distinct lack of basic knowledge around a very proud Highlanders franchise is disappointing and reflects poorly on you both. But what should we expect from a couple of armchair rats like yourselves? Best of luck for the series, guys." And I hope you don't mind, but I just took the liberty of responding to him.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've said, as diplomatically as I can, "Dear Ryan, I know it must be tough supporting a franchise like the Highlanders, but like any long, dark tunnel, there is light at the end of it. Unless the tunnel has caved in, which in this case is most likely. Turn back while you still can. Yours in love and loss, the Super Smack team."
Thank you.
And yeah, thank
you for
and
responding for me.
we do mean that. We know it's going to be a tough road. You're probably going to get dicked by the Blues this weekend under the roof.
Well,
but
Ryan,
we wish you all the
thanks for
best.
listening, Ryan. That's the main thing. The main thing is you got through the episode because that was quite deep when we started taking the piss out of the Highlanders. So
Yeah,
he's got through a decent, and we've talked about them a bit more
I
this
think
week.
he enjoyed it. I think in a sort of a
Maybe he has incited
masochistic
some
way.
passion for the Highlanders from us.
Definitely. It's good to see you back watching rugby again, Ryan. Should we look ahead to the week's games?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, there's one that I've really got my eye on, which is the Chiefs Crusaders. That's the match of the week for me.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger. I mean, they have clearly cemented themselves after that opening round as the form
Top
teams.
of the table clash.
Yeah, it's great. They're both very exciting. It's going to be amazing. I think DMac versus who's going to start? Kemara, I suppose.
Yeah, probably.
You got Jordan versus DMac, I suppose, at the back again.
Havili versus Tupaya. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some good clashes.
Yeah, some good some good loose forwards as well.
Yeah, it's like they've both got. They're probably on paper they're the best teams in the comp by a mile, right?
I mean, Ethan Blackadder's lucky to be playing after his little tip tackle off the ball last week.
Yeah,
It was pretty bad.
that wasn't great.
It was also Rabitu from the Drua had a shocker.
As they're almost
He got carded for it, but
they're almost qualifiers for our other award that we haven't done.
Wanker of the Week. Jesus.
Forgot that one sounded.
You had too much fun recording.
Yeah,
that.
we did. That is a wanker of the week offence because the one off the ball for the Drua was
Not good.
terrible.
Yeah.
He lifts him. What was he doing?
Yeah, and he dropped them. You know when you're up there,
There's just no need. He's just
let him
like-
down
and he
easy.
goes, "Oh, whoops."
Oh,
But he's like, "Oh," but he didn't want to. You could sort of see in his eyes he wanted to complete it.
Yeah. Same with Ethan. He just went full noise. Whistle blind. Everyone ran in. There was a bit of biff after that.
Yeah, there wasn't really much other biff, was there?
It was mainly the Crusaders had a few little niggles with
I suppose the other possible candidate for wanker of the week is Scott Barrett getting a card within 3 minutes.
Oh, God.
We said it, don't include Scott Barrett in your fantasy, whatever
and what
you
did
do.
I do?
You included him in your
Yeah.
fantasy. And he gets carded straight away. He's a guy. The guy is a bit of a liability. We've always said it.
Bit of a
Great player,
blowout,
but
bit of a blowout.
he loves to get in there with a bit of niggle, you know.
Yeah. There's a bit of a blowout from Scott. Unfortunate, but I mean, he came back on and he still played well.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the Waratahs have got a bye next week, and the Reds their first game back.
Yeah, Reds. Yeah, that'll be good for them to hopefully get on the board. The Hurricanes play the Drua at home, which I'm hoping is, I think, going to be a win. The way the Hurricanes played well against Crusaders, so
Man,
they
you'd
can
be
totally beat the Drua.
You'd be glad you're not going to Fiji.
Oh no,
They
because
look hot.
they are tough to beat, probably because of the heat. A lot of it, obviously. The Highlanders versus the Blues, which we have already mentioned. That's also going to be a banger.
Yeah, and the Blues will be sore. So
The Blues-
actually, the Highlanders will be sore too. Actually.
Yeah, I think the Blues will get up though. I
Is
just
that one
think
played down south? or
it is.
up
It's
there?
at Forsyth Bar. I think they're going to get They're going to get up. They've just got the talent. They've got too much talent to burn the Blues, and I think they're going to rectify those mistakes and come back full noise this week.
Give Plummer a little bit more confidence.
Plummer needs to just do the kicking, please.
Yeah.
I mean, Bodie. It's nice that Bodie's doing the kicking, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah. But you probably want him kicking for the. You would want him kicking for the All Blacks.
No, you wouldn't. No way. You
You
want
love
DMac
him, mate.
kicking for the All Blacks, mate.
Oh, you reckon he's better? He's
Well,
saying,
yeah. I mean, if
it's the first time you've ever told me that DMac's better than Bowden Barrett at anything.
it's not the first time. I'm just saying that DMac needs to solidify and calm down his behaviour when he's in that Test jersey. His erratic behaviour is great for the Blues. It's like letting your child sort of go loose at like a lower end
the
restaurant
Chiefs.
is okay, but you don't take them to Prego. You take them to Prego, you expect them to behave, and so DMac just needs to learn to behave at the Prego level.
Are
You
you
know?
saying he's more Cobb & Co. or Pizza Hut
Yeah,
dining?
you could take DMac to Cobb & Co. and let him run loose.
Valentine's.
Give him a traffic light, have him suck back the whole thing, and then just let him run around the buffet 50 times.
He'd be on the Pizza Hut mousse machine, the soft serve machine.
They were bringing that back for a bit.
What, the dine-in Pizza Hut?
Yeah, the works thing. You know, you could get that for
I used to love
$6.99.
You know what? We used to go to
Those
Pizza
are the
Hut
days.
when we were, as a treat for road patrol at school. When we did road patrol
That's
at
right.
primary school, we'd
Yeah.
all get to go. The police would take us to Cobb & Co.
Which
Oh,
is
no,
kinda
it's
weird
a-
in
it's a
itself,
Pizza Hut
isn't it?
dine-in. All you can eat.
All right, you can eat that, but yeah,
Never eat the pasta salads.
no,
Rookie mistake.
no.
Never
it
go
was
for a
it was
salad.
delicious, but yeah, you got to your children have got to behave at Prego. That's the thing.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah.
We're going to watch a lot of rugby. We hope you watch a lot of rugby because it's definitely got a buzz around it this year, the Super Rugby.
It feels good.
And Suoli'i actually was saying that he thinks the intensity of the game was far more than he'd experienced ever at league playing
Really?
that game against the Highlanders. He was like, it was far more intense, it was great. If we're achieving that in the game, that's amazing.
Well, they've
Because
been
it was
talking
fun
about
to watch.
They've been talking about making the game a little bit easier on the eye for a few years now, and they finally actually made some changes to do it.
Nic Berry got that memo.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he took it too literally.
Beautiful man.
Yeah. He's in a bit of a hurry.
He's in a hurry to be beautiful.
Love you, Nick. Great refereeing, mate.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
You are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful person.
Don't miss your appointment at the Ponsonby Cosmetic Centre this week. This was
At the
this
Casey
week,
Clinic.
Casey Clinic.
Casey, he probably went after the game to stay in Christchurch. They must have a Casey there.
No, he had a mask. He had one of those cucumber eyes and a little mask in the changing room.
He's probably listening to this with one of those on.
Hey, mate, we've both had done a mask before. We know what it's like.
Yeah, I've done the occasional mask.
Yeah.
I could probably do with doing a lot more.
Yeah,
I
we've
mean,
gotta
look at
keep-
me.
We've got to keep these fascias looking good, you know?
Fashy. Is there anything else we need to talk about before
Nah, mate, that's it.
What a
we're done.
weekend.
What a weekend. Welcome back.
Hey, of course, if you are still listening again, please, if you're enjoying it, please follow us, subscribe to us, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, and also give us a follow on the Insta and the TikTok.
And keep sending in those suggestions. Everything that we can use from you guys. This is a podcast for you from us. So anything that we can do better, anything that we can change, anything that you've got to offer, we're happy to take it on board.
Wow, really? We're going to take everything?
Everything.
This is going to become a show by the fans, but not us, just like by committee from about 1,000 fans.
Especially if it involves Gareth.
Yeah, I do need a little bit of guidance. Okay, we love you. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the games.
Super Smash. Ka kite ano. Bye-bye.